get a news update, brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat kepan, graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah. Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today? Spoon TV. Spoon. Yes, what you about today? Spoon. Spoon TV. Spoon. Ba-da-ba-di-da-di-ba. Spoon. Skiddy-biddy-biddy-da-ba-do.
Yes, a special one from the CEO, Stan coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Moravia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat kepan, graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah. Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you about today?
Spoon. Spoon TV, Spoon Entertainment. Spoon Spoon TV, Spoon Entertainment. Total Spoon to get your information. Total Spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, Spoon Television. Spoon, Spoon Radio Station. Spoon Television.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEOs, Dan coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
Total Spoon to get your information. Total Spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, Spoon, Spoon Television. Spoon, Spoon, Spoon Radio Station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia.
Monrovia,
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa.
Africa.
Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Morocco, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepan, gradually, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today? Yes, what you about
It's just on the top of the own thing.
Spoon TV last year at the Leches office.
We agree.
So, welcome to Spoon TV, sir.
Thank you.
Your name?
I'm Prince Kanoneka, the robot
Yes, so tell us, you guys gather here this afternoon and what's going on?
Yes, what we did is as a job, there was a global survey called malaria control. It is mapping. Last year, August, when the team came back to we're borrowing the girl $840. The ballot money remain in fast system. Say last year, up to today, we employees and other contractors have been running after our own money business, going to global form office, going to ministry of health, going to CRS, and those who are here in the project, they are nowhere around. Which is one lady who are Gloria a friend. She was in the office, and she noticed that employee on latest. She was here in the project, and one way the deputy. Today, no hair and tail about the money. If it's down to the censor, we work for the censor. Gloria refused to pay off. He said he doesn't have money. Any day he can't say he get money. So we have been running with setting. They have been borrowing, which is from Glasgow. He have been going to CRS, back and forth. They will say we'll send the money next week. Another weekend, we'll send it next week. And not, as we all know, the government is already borrowing. They may not get any day again. So when they go, if we don't take this thing, we will not be able to get the money. We have about 81 person that were on the survey last year.
So you have been engaging the administration of villages. What they have been telling you?
He Lauren George, when we been engaging him, one time he told, he said, people that want to do the work, who are the Nemo and the rental woman, he said they know they were fighting about the assessor, that there was a call, and the day, okay, all the time. We thought it was some kind of march, So then he said they were coming to work, but on a second we go know, he said he will take Lauren, they get what, who are here on the project. They replace again because she's not an employee. They replace her for her office. She no more yet. And she no more yet. And the people met who he can't even say go there. So we can, as an employee, we are very happy the other people that are not employees to go after the money. They are not paying attention. What they can't every day they will run down give a story. Now it was the responsibility of who are heading the project, but they don't do the deep diligence. That's all they've been telling us.
So again, how long you guys been behind the Lawrence guys?
Since last year. As I said, last year September, the project finished and it was all okay.
1 year,
1 year, 3 months we in now. That is 4 months we in so. Since that there's a first icon in say later was established for such a thing to happen. You go on one day survey, you come by sometimes they used to pay the money up front. Continuously. I'm a first time to say government and all DSA and all. You say go government project, you come by. Government say you want trade, you come by here later, you can't get the money.
So at this structure, you guys are agitating for your money.
Yeah.
And if nothing is happening, why is the way forward? Why you guys?
Because we don't. I think we want for the law to come in. So the only way we can call the people who in the government, we can call the attention is for us to stay here and make sure that we hold our invested and the other. The only way we can get our money. I think the people who is the board chair or lady who is the finance minister, I think when they hear this thing, they will come in. So they can come to our rescue. Because Lauren George, that means the institution, he brought the vast quality in the institution. That people requiring carry to him, then he suspend you. Get away, he been running the
Okay, thanks so much. Your name is, sir?
I'm Prince Kanunga Nega JC from District number 8, Lima County.
I have personally worked with the team at the Ministry of Health, the project implementation unit for the malaria control, and the Global Fund. So they informed us that the CRS has been contracted to complete the payment. So this morning I was shocked when the staff came and started shouting they needed their money. So I did offer to take them along to the Ministry of Health to ensure that they at the Ministry of Health, the authorities at the Ministry of Health responsible for this payment, get involved in the matter. They said unless I get in a bus, unless I rode the bus with them, they were not going to go. So I offered to ride with them. And then they said no staff from my office should accompany me there. So I decided I was not going to get in the bus any longer. I got down from the bus. So besides the issue of payment, which is legitimate, I think the approach is one intended to unduly publicize wages in the fashion that will make people believe that things are going wrong here.
To get a news update, my brother to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What I want? Yes, what you got today? Yes, what you got today?
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the
just don't spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, don't spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, don't spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just don't spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, don't spoon. Yeah, don't spoon. My brother, Toto Spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, Toto Spoon. Toto Spoon. You want to get a news update, Toto Spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba.
Spoon FM, Spoon Radio, Spoon TV, of course. This is where you get authentic information about all of the major happenings in Liberia. I'd like to say welcome again to another edition of the program that keeps you up during the late night hours. This is where we agree and we disagree. We discuss trending national issues. And I'd like to say welcome to another edition of the program again tonight. The late night show, the late night politics is back on your radio after being away for about a day. So my name is Nelson Colette, and I'd like to bring on the rest of the team members, the crew in the background. And we'll be here again tonight with another fascinating conversation. We ask you to kindly share the program as you come on. And I want to say many thanks to all of you who always make up time to be here with us, following us on the late night show. With no time to waste, let me go in the background and bring in Mr. Jilau Sandy, the man whose name I'm always finding difficult. I'm always having.
You try.
I'm doing a good job now, right?
Yeah. You got it all right. You got it right.
Yeah, you know, I think I'm a slow learner, but when I grab it, I catch it, you know. But again, I want to say thanks for being here tonight.
How you doing, Nelson?
Yeah, I think I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here again. I see you in your usual seat, with the Liberian flag facing downward.
In few days, the position will change. The flag will face upward in few days.
Yeah, so I'm glad to see you again. You know, whenever I see you in this seat, it tells me that you're working and doing multiple things all at the same time.
Work, school, babysitting, everything. Everything. Yeah.
Let me bring Officer Hands On, the only officer who refused to get mobile ticket. But he ran after. Hands, it's good to have you on. You are muted.
Thank you. If you don't pronounce my name tonight correctly, it is Heinz.
Oh, Heinz. Yeah, I'm always saying Hands. Okay, so the I-N and the Z, Heinz.
H-E-I-N-Z.
Yeah,
it's German.
But it's good to have you on. Since you came from Germany,
look at
on a vacation. No, I'm not bringing the chat room discussion here.
You can see the fear in it, man. The man just trying.
As soon as I mentioned Germany and vacation, the man start getting scared.
Hey, can we go Ghana? Keep talking.
Actually, I'm not going to Ghana.
I
That's right.
I want a man to get intelligence all on ground before I get there.
Thank you, Nelson. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Francis, it's good to have you on.
Good evening, fellas. Good morning.
Good evening. Good morning.
What's up, brother?
Yeah.
Nelson, I see somebody in the comment section. If I'm allowed, can I just give them a quick greetings and shout out? This person was also this person was actually my instructor at the Liberia Dujard Association High School. Mr. Alexander Pope. Greetings to you, sir. I see you in the comment section. Thanks for joining us here.
Yeah. I think I've heard that. I think I've heard that name before.
Which one?
You mean Dujard along the Somalia Drive?
Yeah, Grassfield, Gunnersville.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I used to live in Bartonsville Estate, and so
which area?
I live behind Area F in Bartonsville Estate.
You joking? No.
I'm serious.
My area.
I used to live at F8.
Oh no!
I used to go to F6.
You joking? You joking?
You know? Oh yeah. So though I didn't attend,
so F6 would be the passageway, right?
No, maybe the family changed, but it used to be some family from the church. I used to go, and my cousins were living here. But let's lead our story.
Yeah, we are getting phrases bored because it's like.
I'm looking at my laptop also.
Oh, okay. I thought we were boring you with our.
I have the tripod and with my phone and my laptop down.
Well, Nelson.
Okay. Yeah.
Nelson, your friend around our town. I don't know about the problem there.
You said come again?
I said when I around our town. So you F first, F1, the man is F8, and hands is F6. So you were not around, no problem.
Lead that thing. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a good thing, man. To be here again tonight. I want to say thanks to everyone for joining us. Where's that commenter? You guys remember someone commented on Prince the other day? He said, Prince, why you keep on the show dressed like you're going on the moon?
I forgot what happened to him right now.
Freezing.
Yeah.
It's cool yesterday.
Cool.
Sure. You see that girl? I'm gonna get outside putting on my head. Yep.
Wow. Yeah. But again, it's good to be here. I want to say welcome to our ardent followers, the people who always make up time to join us here on the late night show. I see Dr. Kelvin is in the back, he's in the comment section today. Yeah, and every other person out there, I want to say welcome. Today is Tuesday morning in Liberia, but it's Monday evening in other parts of the world. For the folks in Australia, it's Tuesday as well. Our guy Jerry, at his end, it's Tuesday as well. But again, I want to welcome everyone. It's good that we're here again tonight to talk about the training issues. And I've been trying to get you in the background, Cindy, so that we could zero in on some things. But we'll start up with the training issues before coming up to other issues. Then maybe at that time we will conclusively. What do the guys on UL say? Conclusively conclude.
Man, can be killing me with that words in it. PP word inside.
So the minute why you trying the dictionary, you can find it. Especially under the palabra hot. Yeah, guys.
So noise.
Anyway, Officer, please leave a minute. Yeah, thank you. But lots of things happening, folks. So many things happening. We were just here the other night, and those of you coming on, we encourage you to kindly share the program. Those of you in the comment section, share the show. Let's have a great conversation here tonight. This is one edition of the late night show you don't want to miss. All right, so kindly share the show. The females will be joining us as well. But lots of things happening in the country. So many things. we've been discussing some of those issues, but there are updates, latest updates on some of those happenings now, which makes it important for us to let our audience know. So the first thing is, last week, one of the issues we spoke of, we talked about, was the Gloria Musu Scott case, and the latest development where the defense lawyers requested the court to subpoena Mayor Jefferson Kochi, Valley Tele, and the two GSM companies in the country to provide some information and so forth. And then they were expected to appear today, talking about Jefferson Koji, Valley Tele, and all of those folks. But they didn't appear as planned. They didn't make the appearance. And the reason for that is because there was a protestation at the correction facility today. Correction officers, as per information we've gathered, they were protesting today because of their salaries. They've not received their salaries for a very good length of time. And so they decided to stage a protest. And their own protest was not like was not a case where people will block roads and prevent the movement of other people. But their simple protest they carried on was nobody leaving from the correction facility today, nobody going in. So you bring your prisoner, they will leave outside. You're not putting inside. And anybody inside that's supposed to come outside, that person not coming outside. So they had that going on. And as part of the process, Madam Gloria Musu Scott, the counselor, should have been in court. She should have been present in court. But because of the activities, she could not be there because of what the correction officers were doing and so forth. So Valley Tele and Mayor Jefferson Koji didn't appear today, and that in a way put a halt to the activities that was expected to take place today. So that's in the case of the one of the issues we discussed last week, talking about the Gloria Musu Scott case. Now, and interestingly, we anticipate talking to one of someone very close to all of this. I don't want to mention the name of the person yet till we can finalize on getting the person on. They have some very important information to pass on, and so hopefully we'll have the person on so we can move into that conversation and have more discussion around it. So that's just one. And then the second thing is we spoke of okay, so talking about protest, the latest folks were protesting today as well. I think a lot of you saw it before the start of the show. They carry on a process, the malaria survey, and they should have been paid. They were contracted by the Leges, and then they should have been paid. They've not received their pay yet for the contract, so they decided to stage a protest. Now, the head of the institution, Lawrence George, said the reason why they've not received the money is because they at Leges, they're still awaiting approval from their partners and all of that. So that's the reason why they've not received that pay. But the guys, on the other hand, are saying that no, the partners provided the money, the partners paid the money. But it is Leges, on the other hand, that is refusing to give us what belonged to us. So it's been a back and forth between the two parties and all of that, and they've been going back and forth on that aspect. The CDC Council of Patriot released a statement, and a lot of you know that we discussed this issue with Joshua Salomon, the fellow who passed, and then there have been folks on the other hand. Well, the family, a lot of you saw the statement from the family. The family have cautioned people to stay away, to get away from politicizing this particular death. Or there are some latest development on that as well. Well, maybe we'll dive into some of those happenings. So these are just some of the activities going on in the country today. But I'd like us to start up with, since we're just 4 or 5 here, let's start up with what's on our minds, and then we can move into our talking points. So we can start up with Cindy, and then we'll move to Heinz. I gotta be careful how I call the name, and then Francis, and then Prince.
Nelson, thank you for having us. And yeah, I don't have much on my mind. It seems that we have a lot of interesting topics to discuss tonight. So I'm just looking forward to it. The case of Madame Gloria Musu Scott is an interesting one. Also, the fact that the folks alleges has not gotten paid, and we're talking about a census that was completed prior to the election. That also is very concerning, given that those guys, the current administration is leaving. So I don't want to jump ahead, but yeah, I really look forward to a good show tonight. It's good to be here. Hopefully, more people can join us. I'm seeing some folks asking in the comment section that we share the link there, so we can have more people join us. Thank you, Nelson.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Let's hear from you, Hans.
So Nelson, is this got to do with a region? Not Liberia per se. There was news information that came up that the current leaders of not nothing much, just something to share, keep a knowledge out there, that Burkina Faso and Niger, those military junta leaders are leaving their what you call it anti-jihadi forces. This was a group of countries that were formed to fight the jihadists in the Sahel, which is that region. And if you have two of the most powerful, strong countries where the area are being used to harbor jihadists rather, they are getting out. So that means they're gonna be fighting alone. So it's something to think about. That like, for some reason we are so blessed, we are not in that particular area, but how these things spread just like cancer. So that was just on my mind. I was reading about it yesterday and today. I was like, wow, it's interesting that the two countries that make up a good bit of land mass that will fight these growing terrorist group in the Sahel, and they are quitting now, is something serious to think about.
Yeah, you're right. Certainly. And the fact that we're on the same continent, or maybe in the same region, what affects one country should be of concern to the next country, because you never know. Yeah, and I think that's a very important issue there that you raised. Um, Francis, you want to go? What's on your mind?
I don't have much on right now. I know I saw the videos you posted, so and you just talk about the issue at the prison. So these are interesting conversations we're about to get into. So at this point, I don't have much on my mind. I just waiting to get the show on the road.
Prince?
Yeah. Well, let me say good afternoon to my fellow panelists, and then good morning to you, Nelson, from Liberia and the rest of the world. When you go through deliberating on what happening in the country, I laugh and I said that small country can get a lot of things on your head. The small country, check out a lot of things happening every day. It's just concerning, my brother. It's concerning. Legend, they put their head on a hostage today. People who appear in court because of the correction center. Nobody could go in, nobody could come out. So imagine you had a real dangerous criminal that's going to go to prison today. And the person is not going to prison. What next? It's just a lot of things going on in our country. But I mean, again, we tell God thank you that we got a new leadership coming in. Effective January, we got a couple more weeks. We'll be talking about inauguration. We'll just keep talking to our people. To remain calm. We know it's not easy. Pay Christmas calm. All those scenarios then it baffling. It baffling. Then now it turns around. It comes back to we that on in Europe, Asia, and around the world. We got our family network there. We got to help them by all means. They got to find food to eat for the season. They got to wear clothes. So it's just a whole lot. I just tell God, thank you. We got a new leadership that coming into being. So our people must just remain. Just be calm. That's what I can say. Be calm. I know it's not easy, but you guys just be calm until the new leadership can take over, so we can know where to look to be able to bring the Liberian people the goodness and the health, the education that they deserve in our country. So I wait until we can hit the topics.
Thank you. Thanks a whole lot, Mr. Gbei. It's a great thing. Now, this is very concerning. I know we may all have our own lenses that we may want to use to look at this particular issue, but what happened today with respect to the ongoing trial or the case of Councillor Gloria Musu Scott and into the talking about the death of Charlo Musu is very concerning. We may just at a point we may look at it from just the Monrovia Central Prison, or maybe you want to look at it from other perspectives, but this is very concerning. You have a case that has claimed the attention of Liberians across the world. A case involving a stateswoman, someone who has served this country in different capacities. Justice Minister, Senator, you can go on to name the rest. Her name is being linked to this particular situation. A lot of you here saw the way, the fashion, the manner in which Councillor Gloria Musu Scott was being handled, either from the situation from her home to the time she was taken to the prison, the correction facility, and all of that. At a point, it sparked protest. People were concerned. Political leaders, including Ambassador Barker, went at the correction center. Yes, Liberians have been concerned about this thing. And the way some political commentators took this case and ran with it, it made it even more concerning. Now, it gets to a point where the defense counsel or the defense lawyers or the people who are defending Councillor Gloria Musu Scott, they say, look, this thing, we should not be going back and forth in this whole process without getting the individuals who have been accused, who have been linked to this case, coming to court to see exactly what happened, what transpired, what maybe clearing their names from this entire thing. Well, based on the request, the court summoned or subpoenaed Mayor Jefferson Kochi and Valley Teller for the first time, for the very first time since the case started, which was commending. A lot of people commended the court for that, and a lot of people appreciated the process to have Jefferson Kochi, the city mayor, Valley Teller, the man who is accused of being the one who carried on this particular act, going to court. Is it by coincidence is it by accident or whatever, whichever way you may want to put it, that on the very day, I mean, the same day that Jefferson Koji and Valley Tele are supposed to appear in court, that you have correction facilities, correction officers at that facility protesting. Because obviously, now let me say this, once there is protestation or any tension of that kind at the correction facility or at South Beach, as we call it here, it will obviously prevent normal activities at the facility. And once normal activity is prevented, then you know, all these things, whether people go into prison or removing someone or what have you, it will be stopped. So is it by accident that the correction officers were protesting or had to protest on the very day where Mayor Jefferson Koji is supposed to appear before the court? On the very day where Valley Tele is supposed to appear before the court? How long have the government, all those individuals, when did they realize that they need to be paid? Why did the protest have to be only on the day that Mayor Jefferson Koji and Valley Tele are supposed to appear before the court for the first time? Something that Liberians have anticipated. Now, you can share your thoughts on this. You can make your own analysis on this. But that's just one of the many questions that's running through my head right now as we talk about this issue with the protestation. So maybe we can start with you, Cindy. Let's hear your take on this whole thing about protest, correction officers protesting, and so forth.
Nelson, I mean, you hit the hammer on the nail. That's what they say, right? It leaves a lot of questions. Why today? I mean, we can speculate. We can try to figure it out. But one thing that I can say, Nelson, is that Jefferson Koji will not escape justice. He will answer, whether it is under this administration or whether JMB comes in. What they may be doing, and I'm using the word maybe, what they may be doing is that they are trying to play the delay tactic. That's what they are trying to do. Why today? Was the protest organized? Were those folks at the correction center or place there told to do this today? To prevent Koji from appearing in court. And another, I can go on and ask, did he even attempt to go? Was there any indication that this guy was actually on his way when he heard about the protest and perhaps went back home or wherever he may have come from? Or was he just relaxed wherever he was and did not show up? That's another thing. If I was heading to court and there is protest, I will still make my way. And then left with the court to call me and say, "Hello, Mr. Sandy, stay home. There is protest." But if I don't show up at all, then we can all assume, or we can just say that perhaps he wasn't going to show up anyway. This was staged. Most likely was staged. But there will be justice. He's going to answer. We wouldn't have few weeks. And these are some of the things that these guys in the current regime and folks that support the CDC may deem witch hunt. So just imagine this guy do not show up at all for the remaining few weeks. and he's either demanded or arrested or forced to show up under the JMB administration, they would term a witch hunt. They may term a witch hunt. But again, no matter how he play his delay tactic, there will be justice.
Now, Cindy, I can understand from one point, from one end, you think that this was staged, but now let's look at the possibility. Could it be that something happened coincidentally? Because those people said that they've been owed several months, they've not been paid. Do you see any possibility of a coincidence here?
Then let's see how this will continue. Were their protests addressed today? Were they giving any assurance of getting paid from today's protest? Would they continue their protest tomorrow? Would there be another protest anytime this week? If this protest were only a today protest, then we can clearly understand that this was.
But again, Cindy, on the other hand, if this is a week-long protest, then it means that for the next 1 week, for the next 2 weeks, for the next 3 weeks, or whichever time you may want to extend it to, the accused or the defendant may not be able to appear.
Right.
And if that turns out to be the case, then it means that what was done successfully today is going to continue for the next couple of weeks. It's going to continue for the next couple of weeks. But let's also look at the whole idea of protestation by correction officers. And it's good that we have some security people here. What sort of security issues does it raise? What sort of security concerns should we have, with respect to correction officers protesting? Because these are people that are supposed to, protect us in a way, prevent those who have committed crimes that have been put behind bars, prevent those people from coming back into the community and causing havoc or whatever you may call it. But if those people are agitated, they are protesting, considering that it's a normal thing, it wasn't staged. But if those people are protesting, what does it say about even the security that should be provided at the correction facility?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure my brother Hans and Prince can dive more into this. But I mean, obviously, I think it was Prince that said it not too long ago. If someone should have been taken to prison today, let's say this person committed murder, the person did something terrible. This person is somewhere now where probably they shouldn't be. They should be in prison, right? Who also know what happened in the compound, the prison compound today? So, I mean, it leaves a lot of speculation. Those guys, I mean, if you work, Nelson, protest is okay. If you are working and not getting paid and genuinely need your salary, I believe that protests to get some awareness out and get the attentions of the government perhaps is necessary. But again, there is a need for some investigation in this matter. Are those people not actually being paid, or was this a staged protest today?
Wow.
I don't have an answer for it, but it could go anyway.
Thank you, Cindy. Let's hear from you, Francis, on this one. What's your take on this whole thing about protestation, the protest today that prevented Mayor Jefferson Koji and Valley Teller from appearing before the court?
I mean, like Cindy mentioned, the court they were not showing up to the prison compound; they were showing up to court.
Yeah.
So did they show up and the judge told them, you know what, you guys go home because the defendant is not going to be present? Or did they not just show up? because they heard there was protests at the prison compound. So that's a question that need to be answered, because if you are going in to testify, you don't just not show up and because of your own reason. The court has to tell you not to show up and give you a reason why you are not going to be testifying today. So that's one thing that we need to look at. I don't know what communication went out there, but just the whole thing smell fishy. It smell fishy that coincidentally, because I believe that these guys, the defendant requested them twice and it was denied, and the court finally agreed to bring them in now to testify. So the one time they are coming to testify now, and protests happen. So it smells fishy. But then on the other hand, too, you can also say, okay, let's look at it from the prison guard standpoint. Say, okay, this is a high-profile case. Maybe this one we can show them that we really need business and we need our money. I mean, it's far-fetched, but it's also possible that they want to use this case to push their agenda so they can get paid. But what my main focus on is, this is the problem with Liberia. This is a national security issue. You cannot have people working and not getting paid. So however we want to look at it, it could be, let's just assume Jefferson Koji paid them to do this stuff. It was staged, or they decided to use this high-profile case to draw attention to themselves, which I would totally agree with. If they are not being paid, these people are mothers, fathers, daughters, whatever you want to call it. So if they decide to use a high-profile case to draw attention to that plight of not
and you're striking another point here, Francis. You're striking another point here. Yeah, and maybe a lot of people did not see it from that perspective too. But so are you saying here there's a possibility of those people, the correction officers, since they've had this issue over the time, now that Mayor Jefferson Koji is a high-profile case, they may have just used this just to get the attention?
Yeah, I mean, because think about it though. These people are not sitting in ministerial offices where they can get side hustle, right? Where are you going to get your side hustle from the inmates in prison? They don't even have proper food to eat or money before they will even be paying the prison guard, so they don't worry about, my paycheck. But these guys, they go to work. That's the job that they do. They put their lives on the line. We got hardened criminals in that place, and you don't pay them for months. How are our kids eating, wearing clothes, going to school, just living? How are they paying their bills? So it's possible to say, you know what, like Legends did, okay, this government is about to go out, new government is coming in, but we need to be paid. So that's why Joseph Barker has his job cut out for him. George Weah really dug us into a hole that we will all need to stand on the shoulders of each other and pull us out of that hole. Because you cannot have people, and I know before people jump in the comment section or other places talk about, oh, what about any time? This is our problem. We always like to look back at the past as opposed to saying, you are the leader now, you fix it. Back when the sayings, they say forward ever, backwards never. We should be looking forward, not blaming the past leadership, say, oh, they didn't fix it, so you want to blame us. No, and this is the problem. These guys have families to take care of. So maybe they thought about, this is a high-profile case. Let's draw attention to ourselves, and we'll continue to. And honestly, bro, I support what they are doing. If it has nothing to do with politics, about, let's just say, something else, Koji, I support what they are doing.
Let's take something into consideration here. We're gonna move to you next, Prince, but let's take something into consideration here, and this is not my opinion, right? But let's take a look at it from this point. Until the 22nd of January 2024, the outgoing government is still in power. The outgoing government still controls everything, right? And the person who's being accused here, who needs to make an appearance, is one of those top officials in this outgoing government. Someone who is well respected, someone who has huge influence, someone who has a say in what happens in this government. And I mean someone whose name has been mentioned in series of of violence or whatever that happened, but has never appeared ever before any court anywhere, aside from an invite from the police that they just went and had a friendly conversation. He left. Now, this person who has this much influence is one of the person he has this influence over, is the head.
Okay, we lost Nelson there. But I mean, until Nelson get back.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
For me, I fully support. Like I said, if it has nothing to do with Koji, they're doing it because they don't want Koji to appear, or whatever the case may be. If it's just strictly about their salary, I support them 100% to continue to make the justice system uncomfortable. Continue to protest until Joseph Parker come into office and pay these people. Because I can assure you, judge and government are going to pay them. Where they get the money from to pay those people for all the months that they have not paid them for? Stealing all the people money and stuff. They don't have that money to pay because they rather pocket that money. So Joseph Parker government is the one that's going to have to pay those people. And then the docket is just going to get full. And you can't keep a defendant in custody without a hearing or the trial being stalled because of this. That's another violation. So they have to figure it out. So I know this mess is going to pass on to JMB incoming government, but I support these people. These people have mouths to feed. They're not volunteer praising God. They're not.
Okay.
Take care of their family.
Are we good? Are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Sorry, I had a little bit of. So yeah, so someone is doing this breakdown, right? Someone somewhere, someone sitting somewhere listening to us or watching their TV now is doing this breakdown, right? The mayor, as I said, that point we already passed, influential person, and so forth. Now, he has this influence. He has never appeared before any court or anyone for such an issue, despite his name being linked to a lot of violence we've had in the country. For the first time, a court subpoenas him. Now, one of the persons who heads the battle cry for this influential man happens to be the head of the correction center there, Eddie Terwali. He's one of the men who does the battle cry. He's like in Librarian said, one of the men picking it, at the correction facility. And it gets to a point where the men people, they subpoena the men. But mind you, these people are still in government. They're still steering the affairs of the country. Someone somewhere is doing this breakdown that, how about the possibility of some sort of instruction from somewhere? Okay, go and do this one. Okay, let's do it this way. But again, those guys protested about 2-3. Emmanuel Collet is saying that those guys they had a protest about 2-3 weeks ago about the same salary issue. But how about that? What do you think about that, Francis? Just before going to
it is highly likely that it is possible. It's possible that his Peking head of correction decided to prevent whatever, but also to then look at what happened. We should also do a background check, investigate to see, okay, did he show up to the court and the court told him to go home, or did the court call him and said, do not show up? Because if he was just laying on his couch saying, okay, I know what's going to go down, so I'm not even going to leave my house because of this.
And that's a good point, Francis. That's a good point. But whichever way you pull it, right? Whichever way you pull it, if John Brown has his daily work done already, you can probably walk to the court in the morning.
Yeah, that's
because
fine.
you have done your homework, right? You can probably walk to the court in the morning, knowing very well that everything is set. You've done your homework very well. Probably walk to the court in the morning.
Nelson, you clear yourself by walking to the courthouse, even though you have got your wheels in motion. You go and show up, then they send you home, then you go. But if you don't just show up and this stuff happens and they investigate, real hard, bush hard, forest, wherever the case may be, that's what will happen. Because that happened to come up that correctional office head a boss was the one that staged this stuff for him. Yeah, so that's a possibility too. But I just support those guys. Even if it was staged, I still support those men continuing protesting or the Joseph Burger come and pay them. They have family to feed.
Thank you. Let's hear from you, Prince. What do you make of this? What's your take on it?
Nothing. The first thing first, when the court subpoena you, whether there was disruption at the facility, the corruption center, or whatsoever, your full bound responsibility and duty is to appear before the court. That's number one. Is to appear before the court. You not get a final saying. You and the next man don't have the final saying. Appear to the court. Whether the defendant did not appear, the judge or the judges there will they will come up with a ruling. That's number one. Number two, let me put it in a form where the head of the corruption police right there is they married big brother. He big brother. I hear somebody saying they may been on there maybe a couple of days or a week now. I agree. But when the game is already being played, from the outside, it's like you telling somebody, say, hey, take this, and he'll go for it. Because you know the case is a high profile case. Even you raising eyebrow, who you raising eyebrow to? The international community will not come there right now. The government of Liberia, which is the outgoing government, George Weahs would know that he's will get paid. So they know very well he's will get paid for months. So why didn't you come up even before election to request for your pay, to talk on your salary, to protest on your salary? But because this individual who have not been to anywhere they have called him, the first time the judge they call him at Temple of Justice, he refused to go. The second time, he refused to go. Because why? He got a hand. When they speak, they speak. They speak with authority. So everybody is beneath them. So now, because this government is going out, and you see some form of seriousness coming in, so you say, you know what? Play the game. I think that's only Nelson. It was already planned.
You think it was staged?
It was staged.
No. Frank. I'm gonna ask you and Hans this question. You are law enforcers. Is it best practice in this whole law enforcement thing for law enforcers to go about carrying on some protesting for salary because they not pay you, yeah, you go protest? Is it best practice? You know, I know Hans is laughing because in America law enforcement can protest for law enforcement can protest for salary, civil servant can protest for salary, all that kind of thing. But yeah, as per your understanding, is it allowed? Is it best practice? Is it something where those correction officers were they right to carry on protestation? Let's take it from both sides, whether staged or not staged. Were they right in the first place to carry on protestation?
Nelson, the first thing, it was wrong.
Okay.
The reason why I say it was wrong, and I stand by why I say it was wrong, is this. The corruption police, as I would call it, Saw Beach, is have dangerous criminals that have committed dangerous atrocity to people, to family members, and you got it in there. So now, imagine you start a protest. One of those guys get a pin to open any of those locks, and they get out. That whole place, that whole state, the country is in complete chaos. Or somebody get one another key. They say, okay, we want hands, for example, to run away. So, we always start the protest. Yeah, open the key, open the door. When they open the first gate, the second one, That's it.
Mm-hmm.
The whole place will be on is chaotic at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now the individuals who will be leaving, he gone. Then the whole place is what? You are thinking that you think you're protesting for money. Now these criminals have escaped the prison.
Mm-hmm.
How can you get them? You got no twist on them. You don't have no data to send out. Information wise, it's all it's chaotic in the country already. What do you find yourself as a corruption head? It goes for you. So obviously what they did was wrong. There's another way they could channel their grievances.
So I mean, let's agree that those guys were wrong. And I know that's the other side, that's the other angle you coming from. But let's agree those guys were wrong, and they did what they did, and it prevented the court proceeding today. Is there any reason?
On the opposite, where I said Jefferson Koji, the major, right?
Yeah.
You can decide for yourself. You are subpoena. You should have appeared. That's my concern. You should have gone to the court. Let the court tell you, say, Mr. Kochi, you and Vaditale, you can leave. You can go home. We will re-summon you, or we re-send you your information about appearing to court while we address the issue at the corruption palace with the people. Or the government come in to see, hey, Mr. Justice Minister, what's going on over there? Can you tell us what's going on? And XYZ. You understand? So, but if it was already premeditated and set up, my man, that's the people that the card Jefferson Koji can play best. That's the card he play best. Then this man being the battle cry, they had it considered being a battle cry. Come on, we agree. We are mad, even if they are not being paid 6 or 8 months. But again, there's a better way you can channel it. The better way you channel it is through the proceeding. If y'all go slow in a sense. How? Very easy. You got to just the ministers send communication, interact with those who are responsible. So look, this is the reason why we're doing XYZ. So now you cause a chaos today. They coach some of you. Mr. Corruption's head, you are summoned. Now a lot of people who behind you, if it is clear, it is plain clear. Those that are behind you, you're going to face in the justice. You're going to tell the judge or the judicial system why we did not bring Gloria Scott up today, because we decided to do XYZ. Why?
Thank you.
So that thing was planned. It was planned, set. Now the man knew it was set and planned. So he said, I'm going nowhere. As usual.
Thank you. Now let's hear from you on this.
Nelson, you can bring it on while I get home.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Hans, let's hear your take on this.
Can you hear me?
You're very loud and clear.
I keep losing connection here and there. Thank you, Nelson, and good evening again to everybody in radio, TV land. Good evening to the panelists here. First thing first, in this field, you don't protest. It's prohibited. Law enforcement. That's a branch of law enforcement. Nurses can protest, teachers can protest, fire, police, drug enforcement, NSA. Well, some component of the NSA, Department of Bureau of Prison. No, you're not allowed to protest, because who's gonna, like, what happened? Who's gonna protect the facility? Who is going to bestow law and order if you protest? So that's why these groups, these certain people are prohibited. You channel your grievances through the union. I know I'm talking something that is not probably in Liberia. I'm sorry, I'm just saying. But you channel your grievances through the union, or if you don't have your union like us over here, you guys have what you call ranking officers. You can go through your ranking officers to present your grievances and that can be tabled and talked to. So with all that said, looking at today's Monday, somebody said they protested before. We should have been stopped. If you protest before, your qualms didn't get listened to, then you came today on a big day where today this case should have been driven forward, and you send the case backwards. So these guys are playing, from what I see, they're playing delay tactics. It may be true, it may not be true. I can't state for a fact because I don't have concrete evidence. But I just saying on the line of that profession, you are prohibited from protesting. You can channel your grievances through ranking officers. And who say that if Gloria Scott could not be transported from Judge Gloria Scott could not be transported from the Bureau of Prison to the court? Who gave Jefferson Clergy and his whatever man permission not to show up to court? You go to court, appear in court. If they will get reports from the Bureau of Prison stating that, oh, they can't transport because there's a commotion at the prison, then the judge will knock the gavel and say, well, Mr. Clergy, thank you for coming today. Next, we will reschedule this date. But you just automatically, unanimously declare that you're not going to go to court. This is some of the lawless things we're talking about in our country over there. Who is he to say that? You know what a subpoena is? You should appear regardless of what. You didn't have no blockade to your house. You didn't have any reason for not appearing to court. And the judge should re-subpoena this dude with harsher punishment because he failing to appear today on the first subpoena. That's contempt. That is a form of contempt. I'm saying the judge could use his judgment to imprison or to warn. Everything depends on the judge.
Now, you and Prince struck a very important point. The both of you. Prince responded to this question by saying that those people were wrong in the first place. They shouldn't have carried on any form of protestation, and you came in to break down what the process or what the procedure should be in the case where those guys are, having some issues with salaries. But then here's the thing, Officer Hans. Here's the thing. The fact that you know that those guys should not be protesting means that they themselves know that they're not supposed to be protesting. Because before occupying certain positions, you will be put in the know as to what the do's and don'ts are, what you're supposed to do as per the position you occupy, and what you are not supposed to do as per where you sit. So why do you think that those guys, being very cognizant of the fact that they're not supposed to be protesting as correction officers, also considering that there's a high-profile case involving the former Chief Justice, former senator, this woman who have served her country, a case wherein the city mayor, the Lord Mayor of Monrovia, the head of the biggest municipal government in the country, is supposed to be appearing in court as well. Why do you think that those guys, being very cognizant of what their roles are, will still go ahead and protest on such a crucial day when there is this court proceeding? Well, what's your own analysis of that?
It boils down to what we call lawlessness in a country where nobody have respect for law. So what's gonna become of those people that said it? I'm sure all the officers, there are good correctional officers out there. I'm sure it's not the whole Bureau of Prison decided to go on a strike or on a protest, right? So those people should be reprimanded, right, for such actions that it took up, based on what you just said at the initial of your question, that they knew the do's and don'ts upon signing on that job. I'm sure that the law applies to everybody, whether you're in Italy, Morocco, USA, Germany, Liberia. We all have that same code of conduct under law enforcement, that you can't do certain things. You're prohibited, including fire first responders. As I stated, I listed people that can protest. We have had teachers protested, doctors. Even, listen, even doctors to some extent, they will protest, but they stay on the grounds and protest. But when patients get to them, they still treat the patients and show
Because
the
of the oath
protest
they took,
because
right?
of the oath they took and the job that they are doing. What if something, or you stated a high profile case, what if something would have gone wrong at the Bureau of Prison today, right? When you have Madam Scott in there, that poses detriment to her life and many others who are in prison over that their lives too matters. So it's just not the matter of fact it's a high profile, but down to the men are still killed and was sentenced to prison for I don't know for what reason? Because there are people lingering rather in courts. I mean in the prison. I heard they have not had a day in courts yet, and everybody is piled up at Memorial Central Prison. So there's a situation that need to be looked at. The news about this band stage, it looks like a band stage, but again, as I said, I have no concrete facts. My problem here will be judge, whoever the judge. I don't know if you know this judge name, that he or she should re-subpoena this time with a harsher punishment to Mr. Clergy and say if you don't appear, you will be held in this contempt, because if you don't appear on the first subpoena, you can be held in contempt with further punishment of imprisonment for a length of time. The judges have the power to do that. The very legislative speaker, I mean House and Senate, they have the power to do such. They have their own jailhouse in the building over there that they can do those things. So for clergy, I say to clergy is at fault here. As much as those guys protested today, clergy then should have appeared today. So they still should be held liable for their actions taken today. But the country is lawless. That's why we need and we pray and hope that this new government restore law and order that everybody will have respect for.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Let's hear from you, Dr. Kelvin. What's
Thank
your
you.
take on the issue, sir?
Yeah, hello everyone, fellow panelists and those in the viewing land. I would like to acknowledge and give thanks to these two guys, the two officers that I mean, those guys that have knowledge in the law enforcement, like Officer Hans and Mr. Francis. What I've just said, they have said it all, and then I think what Francis said in particular, those guys was trying to flag out the issue of their pay, their salary, and they wanted to use the high profile case, and for that matter, this is why you see they were well, it was staged, but I think that is what they wanted to do to flag it, but it was wrong according to Officer Hans. It was not right, and I also think that the judicial system in our country is been weaponized. It's something that it is not been independent. The judicial system in our country it has not been independent, and this is something wrong. The institution in our country need to be independent. The thing is about our country is that when we have leadership of people who are in government who are supposed to serve us, we try to heal them and say, "Oh, all hail," like the president would tell you, "Oh, the king," or those. And this is wrong. This is you see it going down to our judicial system, wherein that this person that have been called to come to the court, they are not appear. So what we cannot say what the judge is supposed to do, but he knows what he's supposed to do. What I will tell you is that when you talk about if these things have been staged by the Lord Major or Jefferson Koji, I will tell you one thing: justice delay is not justice denied. So you can continue to postpone and do every other thing. The incoming administration will do something about it. Arrest and submit to you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kelvin. Moses, let's hear from you, sir. What's your take on this?
Okay. Good evening, my fellow panelists. Good evening, Sandy, Francis. I want to heartily recognize you guys. Good evening, Mr. Hintz and Dr. Riches. Are you Riches, Dr. Kevin? And thank you for allowing me on your platform, Brother Nelson. According to this whole issue of the protestation and other stuff that going on in Liberia, I look at everything to be something that um, something that spike, like when you send a bomb and then somebody try to trigger that bomb. It caused a lot of problem. And what I'm trying to get after here is that there are three branches of government. We have the judiciary government, we have the executive, and then the legislature.
Yeah.
I feel that these guys, they should coordinate so that protestation shouldn't have taken place in the very first place. Because if they were going to work together, let's say people, like the president, I'm just saying something. If the president were going to intervene and say, hey, because everything that goes on in the country, the president going to know about it. At least you leading people. The first thing, I will put the protestation in place and say, guys, this is something that is wrong for you to carry on this protestation in the wrong place at the wrong time. You guys shouldn't have protests on the ground of the correction facility. That is endangering human life. Human life in a society of the Republic of Liberia, going against their constitution right. I mean, they all have right to protest, but the fact that you have the right to protest, but you should do it in the right place at the right time. And I feel that I want to agree with Mr. Hinz and Brother Francis. They just hit the nail on the hammer. I mean, it wasn't really fair for protestation to go on the facility ground because it was going to spark a lot of danger things, and people are going to just be killing one another. But with the help of God and the protection, I feel that things were going to cease a little bit because God intervention was there. But my only analysis I want to say is that the people that do the protestation saying that we need our pay, they don't have a manager. They don't have somebody that above them to come to that situation so that they can resolve it quick, because that's a very easy thing to do. Everybody have a rank on the job. So if your manager does something, or if the worker are protesting, they're going to call the supervisor to intervene so that everything may be ceased. That's my suggestion or my analysis, guys. I submit.
Thank you.
Okay. I guess Sandy, you got to take it over now. He's not here.
Oh, now I'm the co-host.
You the co-host. You in that position.
I gotta respect you on that one.
Well, yeah. So I think one of the things Nelson was also, I mean, if we have exhausted the issue of Madame Musu Scott, I think he's also trying to. Oh, Nelson is back. Guys, he's trying to bring somebody on, right?
How steady just give it back like that, my man? And
my man, the thing was short. The shortest leadership ever.
Yeah, taking away.
No. But I think Sandy was proceeding rightly, man.
Yeah.
Sandy was right. No. Listen, the point is, I didn't overthrow Sandy's government. Sandy is still co-moderating tonight. And once I get in the background, Sandy will obviously come on. But guys, we're about to elevate this conversation. The son of Councillor Gloria Musu Scott is going to be joining us. There are other details he has with respect to what happened today at the court as well, and other important information we'll be diving into here shortly on the show. So we're going to do just that very quick. And we also intended to have the but I see Manakora is in the background. Let me bring her. Let me bring Miss Cora quickly. So then, while she's weighing her thoughts,
camping.
Let's go.
Miss Cora, it's great to have you on.
Yeah, let's come on.
Yeah, you are latecomer. The latecomers usually pay some late fees.
Yeah.
But it's good to have you on the show tonight.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. So I guess we've been following the discussion. We are talking about last week we were talking about we spoke at the point on this case, the case ongoing, talking about involving the Councillor Gloria Musu Scott, and the request from the court, the subpoena from the court, requesting Jefferson Kochi, the city mayor, and Valley Teller to appear. And then Liberians anticipated this highly today, but it didn't go that way because there was some protest at the correction facility today, something which prevented the court proceeding. And so, well, there are different lenses that are being used here. There are different analyses that other panelists have already made with respect to this. Well, some see it from a point where this was deliberate, just to prevent the court proceeding today. Why others think that no, it could have been a coincidence and something that just happened, maybe not planned. And from another angle, Officer Hans here says, look, the folks were not right to protest in the first place, given where they sit, given their protection as law enforcers, their own responsibility to protect the facility, ensure that no one gets out that should not be getting out, and so forth. So let's hear your take on this as we get ready to transition shortly.
Well, and Nelson, honestly, I did not follow the whole thing. I did not follow the program. I have been very busy. I just came in. But my own feel and think about what you have just said, I think they shouldn't have protested today. I think they shouldn't have done that. And another thing I've been having my own thinking about is that they shouldn't have kept Gloria in jail. They should have baited her out. At least they should have her bond because of her status in the country. And they disrespected her. They brought her down. And it wasn't good. All along, they shouldn't have kept her in jail. So, on the other hand,
a lot of folks have said that what she's accused of is
the charge is murder. So
yeah,
there's no leniency there to say go sit at home. Especially like brother not sophisticated to say they will keep her on a tracker or something. That's murder. She gotta be held.
Well, it develop war. Even if it is murder, they say you can even bait the person and they can be on a house arrest.
It don't work like that, Miss.
They don't? Okay.
Okay. But Miss Cora, this whole protest today by correction officers on the very day when Mayor Jefferson Kochi should be appearing in court, something that prevented the appearance of Mayor Jefferson Kochi, the entire court proceeding today. What do you think it just happened accidentally, or it was premeditated?
For me, I think it's premeditated. I think that people try to avoid Koji from going to the jail, and that people still want to cause problems in Liberia. So the protest.
No, he was not going to jail today. He would have
no. I mean, if he don't go to jail today, but at least there's something they're going to indict him for. There are a lot of things that are going to happen. We don't know. I just try to preempt. So people just sat down and felt like, look, that go against it. They shouldn't say anything. Liberians can just think, and they just put people out there and then to disrupt a lot of things. So the protest was not fair. It was preempted. Yeah, it was not fair.
You think it was premeditated?
I think it is. It is. And the kind of person I'm talking about, he quit to put people in the street. He quit to organize gangs. He quit to organize a lot of things. So it's not strange for things to happen like that. Yes, it's his doing. So it's not thing that somebody just sat and said, no, let's go out. They planned the whole thing. They knew the code there. They knew the time. So they got out there. I stand to be corrected, but I think it was something that was planned.
Okay. So at this point, let's now bring in Noah Scott. I hope I got his name right. He's the son of Councillor Gloria Musu Scott. Let me see if I can bring him on. Okay. So welcome to the show. It's good to have you on.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay. So can you hear me? Can you hear us very well?
Yes, I can hear everyone loud and clear. Hello everyone. Thank you very much for allowing me to join the show.
Okay. You want to just tell our audience who you are, better introduce yourself to our audience.
So my name is Gloria Scott. I am the son of former Chief Justice Gloria Musu Scott. So I'm a second child. I have an older brother and a younger sister. Thank you.
Okay. It's good to have you on.
Thank you very much.
I just like to kickstart this discussion, and maybe the rest of the guys will come in. Now, Mr. Scott, you are aware that as per the proceeding, as per what's going on, Mayor Jefferson Koji and Vadi Teled should have appeared in court today, to testify. And that was planned. That was planned. Liberians across the country anticipated. They highly anticipated that, but it didn't. It didn't turn out that way. There was protest at the correction facility today, which prevented the entire thing. What do you know about this entire process? In the first place, do you have any idea as to whether Jefferson Koji or Vadi Tele appeared today in court, or in the premises of the Temple of the Temple of Justice, despite what happened?
Yeah, no, I received some word that Mr. Tele might have been in the vicinity. He was disguised, had shades on, had glasses on. I would assume that if he would have went into court, they would have made him remove his glasses so we can see his eyes. And those were the tips that came in. I also saw the mayor at the radio station, so that means he driven past the courthouse to go there to the radio station, and I watched his interview as well. It was unfortunate that they didn't get their chance to sit and answer questions from our lawyers. Our lawyers, they were all looking forward to it. We have some questions that we need some answers to. And, the law, it applies to everyone. No one is above it. So hopefully, we can get to we can have some solution with the protest, and those people can get their chance in court, because we're all looking forward to it.
So prior to today, or let's say yesterday, since in Liberia we're in the next day now, prior to yesterday, did you have any idea? Did you receive any information about protests at the correction facility before today?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We were told this was probably 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, where there was some form of a protest because they haven't received their pay. And that's the information I received. That's what was happening today. We pray that they, who wants to go to work for about 3 months and not receive pay? But we also we want to get to the bottom of this. We need some people to answer. There are some things that we've discovered that needs to be answered. Some I cannot discuss here. So, like every Liberian, if the judge says you should report to court, go to court, answer questions. That's all I say.
Okay, so I will now pass it over to the the rest of the folks on the panel, maybe you want to ask.
Can I add some things, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
And thank you very much for allowing me onto your show. Thank you very much for me getting the chance to speak to my fellow Liberians, and that's across the world and even in our country. This whole process, they've treated my family unfairly. The whole thing, from the investigation to the charges to everything, and even now where we're at, right, with all of this thing and the disturbance, and they're trying to dodge going to court and answering questions. It's all been unfair treatment from day one. From day one, when my mother went up to the police and reported that our house had been broken into, the police director was just in court last week, at the end of last week, and he said, well, she should have followed up on her complaint. I mean, you're supposed to serve and protect the people. So when someone comes to you and says, my life is at risk, they must follow up before you take action. As your role, we gave you that position to serve and protect every Liberian, not just Gloria Scott. Is that what we are supposed to do? You must always follow up before you take it serious, and then somebody loses their life about it. I mean, it's just everything has been unfair. Everything's been unfair. We had to file 3 times to get access to be able to do our own investigation. It was rejected twice. What was the excuse? Oh no, it's too early in the case. The people have 5 months to run their propaganda and do all of those things. The whole process, everything's been unfair. You have the leading prosecutor going on site overnight, right, while everybody is out and interacting with the jurors, and then he gets $200 fine, right? And the case continued. The jurors are still out there.
Come again with that aspect. Who went overnight and interacting with the jurors?
Councilor Niente, he admitted to it, but he said, "Oh, well, I was just checking with the security guards to make sure that people were taken care of." Why you even have to go out there? This man has been practicing law longer than I've been alive. He knows that's not what you do. What are you going out there for? Why are you interacting with the jurors? Right? From the day one, they've said they had all of their information. They had everything beyond reasonable doubt. Beyond reasonable doubt. And they're the ones that's interfering every turn. Every turn. When our investigators came to the country and went to St. Moses, the owner of St. Moses said, nobody is touching this body because I haven't received word. After we got the ruling from the court. And we had to fight it for almost half a day when we finally got the word back that he was allowed to see the body. And then their so-called pathologist said, oh, you can't see the body because it's frozen stiff. It's frozen block.
Oh.
That for multiple hours until we finally got to see the body. I guess it was some miracle. It had thawed out in the last 45 minutes of exchanges. It's been unfair, this whole process. They've put out their propaganda. Now come to court and let's go for it. And I would tell everyone who's listening, we have some things that would show proof that my family is innocent. And in addition to that, I can't even speak more on it. I just want, from now on, the day the court opens, everybody go and listen for themselves. The truth is always been there, but you will get to see that.
Wow. So let me turn it over to our folks on here. Maybe we can start with you, Cindy. You have a question. Maybe we can do one question each, and then we can wrap up on that. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Scott, good evening from my end. It's still evening.
Yes. Hello, Mr. Sandy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I want to thank you for coming. First, I just want to check on you and your family.
Yeah.
How are you, your siblings, and everyone doing?
We've been tortured. We've been tortured by this administration for the last, say, a year. They've been targeting our family for a long time. But my mother is solid. She raised us to be that way. And we're a peaceful family. But Gloria Scott never backs down from a fight, and neither one of us. It's unfortunate that when you see the court minutes and you see the charges, it says Gloria Musu Scott family versus the Republic of Liberia. With all that she's given back to the country, can you imagine we're going against the Republic of Liberia? The Republic of Liberia, they're using up all their resources and everything against our family, against my mother. So to answer your question, considering the circumstances, we're in the fight. We do not have time for emotions. We're focusing on what's in front of us.
That's good.
Thank you.
Do not have time for emotion. That's what I got out of it.
Yes,
Look,
sir.
this question here is obvious, but I just want to hear from you. Perhaps I know the answer. Do you think that this is happening to Madame Scott because of some political reason?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's for many years they've reached out to my mother to be a part of their party. They've asked her multiple times to run as the vice president. They also asked her to assist them in removing a judge, which she refused. That's because she's loyal, right? The UP party has always been her party, and she always told them, I'm sticking with my party, regardless on whatever challenges she's faced. And every time she faces any challenges with her party, they send someone over. They send someone over and try to get her to join them. And I believe, as a Liberian citizen, shouldn't it be her right to choose who to work with, who to not work with? My mom is a peaceful person, but if you meet her in court, then you get to see the other side of her. And they cannot battle with her in court. So for that reason, they wanted to eliminate her. It was an assassination attempt on my mother's life, and they killed my cousin and my sister in the act. The murderer is still out there. They're protecting him, but Liberia will get to see very soon.
I know I'm only allowed to ask one question, but this is like adding fish on top of Nelson. Just allow me to add a small fish on top of it. It's okay. I am hopeful that the incoming administration will address this matter very timely. That's my hope. What is your hope for this incoming administration regarding this case? What is your hope?
So our belief, right? My family is innocent. We will fight this in court and we'll beat them in court, right? That's our belief. The incoming administration, we believe that they will be fair, treat people fairly, and every other thing can be handled afterwards. But what's before us, as I've always said, the police and all of their backers believe that my mother committed this crime. Well, then allow us to fight, allow us to come there and defend ourselves and be fair. But this whole fight, this whole thing has not been fair in court. They've used Liberia's resources to influence, to threaten, and intimidate so many people. But now the tides have turned. You see the other one sitting down in the radio station. He's all calm mannered and everything. Lower his voice. Before he was Mr. Big Book speaking. You're the only one who can go to school.
Thank you. Let's move to Officer Hanks. Let's hear you. Your one question. You are muted, Hanks. You are muted.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Scott. Good evening to you, and good morning. Just want to say, I was going to ask you how you doing everything, but Sandy already said you're in good spirit to some extent.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to throw this one in real quick before I throw in my real question. How is your mother holding up?
Gloria Musu Scott is solid. She's strong. Whenever I talk to her, it's as if, I need to find, I'm her son. I try to copy some of the things she do, but that inner strength that she has, I don't know. I mean, even then, she said, I forgive them. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea. To be honest, some might say I'm biased, but what she's done for the country, many years. There should be a statue of Gloria Scott in that temple of justice. Instead, you have these people targeting her and wanting to eliminate her, and now put the charges on her to protect themselves. But it will all come to light. I promise you and I assure you. Let me remind them, I just give you guys a little tip. Our team of private investigators have been on site, have visited our houses. They've collected samples. Remember now, they're pathologists. It took them 5-6 months. They were putting stuff all in the newspaper, putting all type of nonsense out on their radio station and said they have all of this clean and all of these things. But guess what's coming? Our pathologist has been studying for over 45 years. He was part of the O.J. Simpson case. We have something. We have something. I advise everybody to go to court. See this out. They were doing all that nonsense all this time. I guess they thought they had 6 years left for them to take advantage of people, for them to take away people's right. The time is coming. The time is coming.
My question to you now, thank you for letting me know. I knew your mom from the 90s as a young boy growing up. She's a strong woman, and that statue, hopefully one day. But my question to you, Mrs. Scott, you mentioned earlier that the solicitor or the prosecutor is secretly meeting with the jurors. Now, if they're doing all of this with all your evidence, and sometimes when jurors are compromised, the case is done. They might go in favor of the state against their mother, and maybe she might be found guilty or so. What, her being a UP person, UP government coming in, one, it's an A question, A and B. One, A, is there going to be a appeal for pardon? Two, why aren't you, your your defense team, trying to redress the idea of getting a new judge or expelling those jurors and requesting for a redraw, or you want to go through the case and get a retrial? What is it? What's your strategy? You don't have to go into details, but
but I can tell you this: what we believe. The truth is the truth. My family is innocent. We have nothing to hide. You can ask us now. You can ask us 20 years from now. They will tell you the same story and what happened in the house that day, right? So yes, we expected a judge to throw out the case, right? Or even, bring on new jurors. It didn't happen. We're still moving forward because we're still proving every day, every time in court. I mean, it's so comical when you see these people's performance in court. When I say people's performance, that means the prosecutor. They have nothing. They have nothing. And all they can do is use their influences, Liberia's resources, to pay people, threaten people, and do all of those things. And like they say, God can't sleep, Jesus can't pontaya, because it turned on them, right? Now the UP won the election. What are you doing now? They caught themselves in their own trap. But God willing, we're still fighting to the end, and we're not looking for pardon.
So if she's guilty, you won't go for pardon.
We'll go to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
We'll go to the Supreme Court. We don't want pardon. We're innocent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move to Francis and then Ms. Cora. Francis, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Scott, thanks for coming on and taking about your mom. But this question, you may choose to not answer. But you mentioned something that your mom was the day of the incident. Was that when your mom went to the police and report of the break-in, or was
no? There were a few days before. She was even on the radio station. She had her own show, and she mentioned that on multiple radio stations. It wasn't the same day, no.
Okay,
so
okay,
yeah. I think
the reason I asked that is you may or may not be aware, but it's circulating that when police arrived the day of the incident, there were no evidence of break-in into your mother's house. So can you just
the day of which incident? The day of the first incident, or the day of
the day of the actual I don't want to say murder, or the day the girl passed.
It's one thing that what they put out there to confuse people, right? I guess they learned something from our folks out here they muddy the waters enough, it will confuse people. What we said and what my mother said was someone was already in the house. right? It's a pretty big house and it's somewhat unfinished. You can access it from so many points. You can jump over the fence. You know, they put this thing out like it's a fortress. The house more fortified than the president house. I mean, you just have people just speaking all type of nonsense. There are trees all around the fence. Anybody can climb the fence. When they were screaming for help, the neighbors, when they got into the house, they didn't come through the gate. Nobody opened the gate for them. They all climbed over the fence easily, right? So the way the house is, there are so many ways that this person could enter, right? And as she reported twice, someone had already gotten into the house before, okay? And as I mentioned, there was a ceiling that you could see that was damaged, that if somebody have intentions to get in, they can get in through the ceiling. The next thing, when my mother arrives, when she comes from her practice, it takes about a few minutes because she doesn't just come and go into the house. She comes home with things, right? She comes home with her documents, boxes. She comes home with her laptop and so forth, right? So there has to be unloading from the car and into the house. And where the car is and where it's parked, it takes a few minutes to get to that end. And at this time, the door is open. So if someone has been waiting, we have big trees around. They can wait in there or whichever. It's dark. It's at night. Could have slipped in. We have 4 bedrooms in there. 3 of the bedrooms are occupied. That's my mother, and that's the other family members that are right now holding in jail. There are one that isn't occupied. That's considered our guest room, and that's what we think that person was waiting at. And that's why when the door was closed and they thought they were secure, that's when the barbaric guy came out and person came out and attacked my family. And that's what it is. So when you speak of break-in, they're already in the house.
Right, okay. Just for that clarification, because there was this thing circulating that the house, and especially for those of us that don't know the house, and it's out there, people thinking that, okay, this house is fully finished, it's secure, there's no way to get in and out, but your explanation throws some light on it, so at least people who listening can understand how it is possible that somebody else could have gotten into the house.
It's the job out there.
Thanks a lot.
That day of the incident, go back, look on the internet, go back. There were reporters inside of the yard walking around with their cameras. Go view those things. People had access to the house. Reporters had access to the house. Some of those videos were live on Facebook. So you can go back and see that. It wasn't a fortress. It wasn't a fortress. Yet my mother did her best to protect herself, but it wasn't a fortress.
Okay.
Thank you.
Miss Doreen, Miss Cora, you want to?
Yeah, Mr. Scott, I want to say thank you. And I want you to know that your mother is one of the person that encouraged women participation. And I happen to be one of those persons that she encouraged to speak out. And I met her on many occasions in Maryland County where I was working. I honestly don't have a question for you, but I have a question for the panelists. I want you guys to please help me. And if you, person like Gloria Scott, or leave her like alone, a woman, when she want to kill somebody in her house to indict herself, where they have a lot of opportunities, you can take somebody out if you want to kill them. Is it possible this woman would think so naively to murder somebody in her house? I want you to guys to just tell me something about that. Is it logical? Is she really want to kill?
May I add to that?
Yeah.
If we're using logic, let's use logic, right? If it was her intention or my family's intention, why would we go on the radio station multiple times and talk about somebody is coming over to the house and trying to get in? Why would we do that? Just to give a little history on Chalo. My mother went to Maryland where you met her, Plebo, and brought Chalo and brought Chalo to the city. Chalo was 4 or 5 years old. She couldn't read, she couldn't write. My mother would set her on her lap and walk Chalo on how to read, construct a sentence, how to write a paragraph, helped her learn how to work with computers and everything else. Now Chalo is graduated from high school and college. You think that's when someone would want to kill a daughter that she's invested so much into? And she's done that for so many of my family members and some individuals that wasn't even family members that are now all over the world and being respectable citizens of their community. I mean, I just wanted to add to that. So
Yeah.
thank you very much. It's just common sense and
Yeah.
common logic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So let's take Prince. You want to go? I see
Yeah.
your hand up.
Yeah. Miss Cara or Mrs. Cara, just if I'm not mistaken, 3 or 4 days ago, the same thing we're talking about here. We just talk about it on this
Okay.
show.
We're gonna come to you. We're gonna come
Okay.
to you. We're
All
gonna
right.
come to you. Let's just go. Let's follow the queue. So let's take Dr. Kelvin. Dr. Kelvin, go ahead, sir. Let's hear
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Scott, for coming on this show
Thank you.
and making your case and telling Liberian people what you know about the story about your mother. And I think you shouldn't be quizzed, but this is just for the Liberian people to know the information of what's going on. And I want to bring us back to where we started from, up to date. We're now talking about why the appearance of those individuals of concern, Major Koji and Valley Taylor, did not appear in court, and why your mother did not appear also in court. I think this is why you came on board for. And I would like to go just to that. I would like to ask you a yes and no question, just for clarification, because I heard you explaining that Major Koji passed around the court area and you're going to the radio station, but we're not clear when he appeared in court or not all validated or wearing glasses. He did not appear in court. My question is, did Major Koji and Valley Taylor appear in court today?
I would say no from the information I received.
And excuse me. Yeah,
I'm going to limit myself to a yes or no question to you. I'll respond to it the way that I feel is best, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was it. That was my response. But
go ahead. Right?
No.
Yeah. And was this court day scheduled for the date that yesterday? Please explain.
For my information, the judge ruled that on Thursday, right? They didn't report on Thursday, so Monday was when they were expected to report, and everybody expected them. But then we had this situation with the protest. So it doesn't matter what's going on. Nobody is above the law in that country. You will go to court, my man. Y'all will answer a question. Nobody is above the law. The protest will end. You will go to court. You will answer a question.
Thank you.
And there are a few of those questions awaiting them.
I rest my case.
Thank you. Prince, let's hear you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm good. First and foremost, I don't have a question for you. I just say, be strong.
Thank you.
Because your mother, Madam Scott, I knew her too good from Bon County. So I don't even want to go into, but Ms. Cora, as to just the question you asked, right? You asked the panelists here. If I'm not mistaken, maybe about 4 or 5 days ago, we just discussed Madam Gloria Musu Scott issue. And I sat down around this platform and told them, say, there's no way the woman would take this child from 2 years old or 3 years old, educate her to the 40s, marry her, and then turn around and kill her. She don't have insurance money. Right on this platform, I said she don't have insurance money. She don't have anything that Gloria Musu Scott will want from her, besides as a daughter, to get her there to be somebody that will carry the name or the legacy of her.
Absolutely.
But some of our friends came out and said, "Oh, they get happy." So believe
it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Some of us know. Some of us with our own common sense, we know that. So
thank you.
I guess say that Madam Gloria Musu Scott, the same thing I was saying, Nelson, when we started the program today, that protest that went on today. How sure are you somebody could not give key that they could go at her part of area where she was to be executed? How sure are you?
God forbid. You
no,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, yes, I hear you.
That's the same thing there. That you as a corruption officer, you cannot protest. You cannot, because you're endangering the lives of the people that is in that cell.
Thank you. Let's hold you there. Let's hold you there, Prince, and then we take Thomas. Mr. Thomas, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Nelson. My question I want to ask you, Miss Brother Scott, during the incident that occurred at your mother's house, I wasn't on the scene, but I'm seeing it from DNA forensic science. Now, my question is, when the incident occurred, did it fingerprint every individual in the house? Did they have a crime a forensic specialist that they fingerprint to do fingerprinting investigation? Because you can trace a killer from there.
Absolutely.
So my question,
At least, I am so sorry for interrupting. Sorry, sir. Did you have more with the question? Yes, they took all their samples. They spent 4 or 5 months in the house with everything that they said they needed to do for their investigation. And imagine when the pathologist sat on the stands, he said all that he could determine, it was only women chromosome. That was it. He couldn't say, even though he took fingerprints and DNA sample of each individual from the house, they did multiple swaps and everything, but couldn't determine who DNA or fingerprints it is. Now, keep in mind, DNA and fingerprint is specific to an individual. You consider yourself a pathologist and a forensic scientist, and you can't determine that. But guess what? Our team of investigators, our forensic scientists, has some determination. Please go to court, everyone.
Okay. Then Josh, you want to ask a question? Let's hear you.
Now, here's my second question, Brother Scott. The suspect that were involved in the crime, let's say Jefferson Kochi and all the other people that were involved, did they take a fingerprint of each of the individual to do investigation there too as well?
So as I'm concerned, we don't know of those two that are being involved, right? They're alleged, and we have some questions for them to answer. We will let science and facts prove who's really involved in that. So from my understanding, yes, they were interviewed. There are documents from the police that was turned into our lawyers as all of their evidence and also the interview documents. We have those. Those are flawed as well. There are things in there that the Liberians also need to go to court and get to see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nelson, don't bend your head down for me. I beg you. I want to say something.
Yeah, but let's take Josh. A question from Josh. Then we can just to wrap it up. It was just yeah. So let's take you, Josh. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, you gotta speak up a little bit, bro.
I can hear you, sir. Mr. Weeder, nice to meet you.
Yeah. And nice to meet you. Look, man, I know it's a really difficult time for you and your family, and we are very much, moved by your strength to come here. If I were you, I wouldn't be here, but that's where your strength is, more than mine. Here's my question. Since this case is still in court, don't you think by coming to the public domain to discuss it, don't you think it would jeopardize the outcome?
Not really. I'm not discussing any details of things we have. What I'm discussing is what people already know, right? What I'm discussing is what we've already been saying, and what we have, how we are defending ourselves. Detail of that, I leave it up to our lawyers. While I'm out here is to tell the world and Liberia and the people who are listening, throughout this process, we've been treated unfairly. And we have facts to prove that. George, you're a CDC man yourself. So you would know, if you're honest with yourself, you can see the bias, how it's been from the side of the police, right? How we've been treated. If they say my mother is guilty, right, then allow her to fairly defend herself, right? We try to do our own investigation twice. It was rejected. Why? Right? We should have the right to defend ourselves, right? If you say we're guilty, why? Why are you visiting the jurors? Why? Why do you have to do all of those things? Why are you attempting to move the case from Morovia to another place if you have beyond reasonable doubt evidence? I can tell you this: if it was Gloria Scott on the other end, she will be asleep. Y'all put your case together. Y'all can bring y'all in forensic investigator and scientists from Mars. Bring them in, because if she's going to move forward and say we're charging somebody with a crime, she has her facts and she's ready to go and prove it. She wouldn't have to be as unfair and biased as they've been.
Thank you. And my second question is,
yeah. So let's make that the last, Josh.
Yeah, because we do the last one. Look, regardless of being a CDC president or him, and I got feelings, I got relationships as well, I got family, you know.
Thank you.
And I will feel just like you feel. And this is for a lot of politics. Rather, it's against the state, it's against us as a people. It's not against one person, it's not even against the family, you know. It's against us, because I could be the one. Anybody could be the one, be the victim. So we don't deal, I don't deal with politics when it comes to capital finances like this one. So. But I just want us to be very careful how we go about this, because human life was involved.
Absolutely.
That's why I want to stop. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Justice for Chalo. Justice for Chalo. That's our goal. That's our sister, and we were all happy for her. The 22nd of February we were celebrating. All of us had that information. We couldn't wait. We couldn't wait to celebrate with Chalo, because we know she came from Maryland and how hard she worked for herself to get what she was. And then she was graduating from college. Jesus, man.
Wow. I want to say thanks a lot to you. Miss Cora, you wanted to
just want to clarify something which has to do with DNA test and fingerprint. We don't have a database in Liberia that can determine somebody's fingerprint from birth. So even if you go do your forensic evidence and other things to collect data, you cannot go do that by fingerprints because we don't have a database set up. So I don't want us thinking that, when you go there are people who touch things, and when you go do the database or fingerprint, to be able to identify whose fingerprints are those. So I want us to know we don't have it in the system. They have ministry, they don't have those. That people go there because they want to get passports and other things, but it's not.
And that's where I was coming. That's where I was coming from, because
Okay,
if you talk that big,
Sister Cara, then why they have it at the DMV? Why people go at the DMV in Liberia to fingerprint?
Let me clarify something. DNA is specific and it's in a setting. You go there and do your DNA, but like the way in the developed world, baby born today, you got a whole assessment done, everything for that child. It's not even there. Somebody born in Zinetabo, in the village. What you know about that child grew up? What is system a guy in the Ministry of Health? So I don't want us to look at it like that.
Yeah, but let's just look at it from this point, right? Just quickly, why is it that we don't have a fingerprint database in Liberia?
We are talking about tracing the killer. That's a simple thing you can do a forensic analysis.
Hold on.
Let's go all the way in detail to go say you go to look at somebody's breath.
Moses, we have a guest on the
all we can hope for is that
wrap this thing up.
All we can hope for is that everybody's fingerprint is unique, right? It's unique. So if there's anybody that they think is involved in that case, once they swab them, they can also try to match it up by checking. But it's not in a database. So if they try to print on the body and they swab my fingerprint and try to match it with that,
they're accused.
Yeah, they're accused or whoever is a suspect. they can match that with what they found in the body, even though we do not have a database.
Simple.
My last thing for my closing is that I want to say something to you, Mr. Scott.
Bring Mr. Haynes in. You want to talk?
So, Mr. Scott,
Yes,
I want you to say to clarify something. Somebody tells me that because the United Party coming, is that the reason why they will win the case? I said no, I will bring it up. Is it because of United Party or because you have all of your proof that you can stand up and say, yes, we can win our case? Or because we get a new government, the government will take side with you? Is that what we try to listen to around here?
All of the jurors are the same jurors for before the Unity Party won the election.
Okay.
It is the same judge.
Okay.
Unlike the other side, we trust in the justice system. We've always trusted the justice system. Even though they've been unfair, we still know that we're innocent. And that's why we trust in the justice system and God above. So no, as I mentioned earlier, we're not looking for pardoning.
Thank you.
Only the Unity Party can come in and pardon us because, for whichever reason. That's not what we're looking for. We'll win the case because we're innocent.
Yeah.
We'll win the case because we can stand on that and we have proof.
Okay. Thank you.
Nelson, you okay with me asking this? Can you hear me, Nelson?
Go ahead, Hans. Yeah.
Okay, so this is Mr. Scott. I'm not, for the position I'm in, I have to be open-minded, okay, for what I do. I just want to let you know that I'm not a sedition, but if the president have a couple of weeks to leave power, he has the mantle to pardon prisoners, whether guilty or not guilty. He did it prior to the election. He pardoned like almost 1,000, almost 700 prisoners. But your mom is not. She haven't been sentenced yet, but the president can still use his pardon gesture and do that. Will you guys accept the outgoing president pardon?
I think it's a question for my mother to answer. If you would ask me, as I mentioned before, a few people have asked me about the president-elect Joseph Boyka. Like, would you be happy if your mother pardons? Your mother is pardoned by Joseph Boyka, or would I be happy if President George Weah pardons my mother? We're innocent. We're innocent, and we're to the end of this. We're coming to the end of it, and we trust in the justice system. We trust in those jurors out there. Regardless if Councilor Nyenti tried to compromise, he was out there multiple times. Those are still people with heart. Those are still people that sworn by the Bible to uphold the laws of this country and do what's right. And that's what we trust in. And we trust in God above as well. So
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think we're looking for pardon. We want Liberia to witness this, and Liberia gets to see what's really been happening. Imagine this being done to someone who couldn't fight for themselves, who does not have a son in the United States, who does not have a son in the United States is going live. The common person, how many of them are in jail right now? How many of them have been buried because they cannot fight for themselves? We're fighting for all Liberians, all right? And what they're doing it to themselves. So we want to see this out to the end. We're innocent, and we'll prove it, and we'll take it to the last day in court.
So Scott, Nelson, please, quickly. I know we want to let Scott go, right? I'm not going to speak for you, Scott, but I'm going to speak for myself, and I'm sure for many Liberians. Well, I don't think she should be pardoning as well. I think we should go through this process so that the justice will be served. But what I do believe, and I hope that will happen, is that there will be some level of efficiency, speedy trial, and also that she and the two other people will not be behind by while this process is going on. I strongly believe
three others.
I strongly believe that the process that led to their imprisonment was unfair. And a lot of people can agree. So hopefully the incoming administration will speed this up, get them from behind bar, and continue with the process and bring justice for the late Shalom that we all are here, fighting for, and hopefully we'll get it for her. Thank you for coming,
very
brother.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Scott, we want to say thanks a lot for being here with us tonight. We, as usual, we want to take few calls. I don't know if you have the time to hang up with us until we do that. But if
I'm willing. Yeah, let's take the calls. Thank you.
okay, so we will put the numbers up now. The WhatsApp number. Let me get the WhatsApp number on the screen, and then the local number is okay. So that's the WhatsApp number they're strolling. So the local number is 0555-101075. And the WhatsApp line can also be used. So let's take our first call on the local line 0555-101075, and you'll be live on the late night show. You can also call using the WhatsApp number that's on the screen. Let's take our first call. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning. You're live. Your name and where you call from?
This is Matthew.
Yeah, Matthew. Let's hear you.
Yeah. I wholly and surely believe. First of all, I'm sorry, Harmon.
Okay.
That still the counselor, that's a renowned counselor. I saw her drink at the late 2 time with Ellen Case. I know who she is.
Okay.
I know. She don't fight her. But whatsoever that the thing over there, sorry for calling the ball, my dear. Because I know your mother on way back. I know. A national lawyer there.
Thank you.
So for everything what I was doing, again.
Thank you.
Person that do that, I'll do that.
Thank you.
It will show the counterpart. It will show the counterpart. I believe in it.
Thank you. Let's hold you there, sir, and take. Let's take Amy. Amy wants to make an input, and we go back to take more other calls. Hello, Amy. Welcome. You're live on the show.
Thank you, Nelson. And thank you, Brother Scott. I don't have a question. I just have some comments to make. Before tonight, I think I already know, which you already reiterated. Your mother is innocent. We all know. I know, and I know a lot of people on that show knows, and in Liberia and all of that. And she will be vindicated. And from what you said tonight, it even encouraged my thoughts about the whole process. And I don't want you to think that I know everybody keeps saying, "Oh, she will humiliated. She will this." No, I don't see it as her being humiliated, because if we already know what's going on, we know she's not the one being humiliated. It's the so-called government that we have that's trying to shield off. They kill her. They are the one, because she will get justice. She will be free. You have your proof and everything, and we know that at the end of the day, she will walk out of there, and they will be the one humiliated, not her. And I just want to thank you, and we're praying for your family.
Thank you.
And just keep up your head, and at the end of the day, you'll be victorious. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In Jesus' name. Thank you.
Let's take this person. Hello, you're live.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, fine. Your name and where you call from. You're live. Go ahead. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Nelson.
Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
You know, I'm very sad to hear where Mr. Scott is saying, and my very self, when he used the remark that if it was a poor person and he didn't have a son, what was going to happen? My very self have a son in our jail that had never been trial, and they just put him there. He had been there. Nobody had. So I pray that God will be able to give them justice, and my very self, I will be happy. I'm a blind woman. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good morning.
morning, Nelson.
Yeah, go ahead. Go in your life.
Yeah, how are you? Fine. Good morning, Mr. Scott.
Good morning, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, fine. I listened to you, and I overheard you said the jurors were temporary by the state prosecutor, and if the jurors were temporary, haven't you been following the case? Did the defense counsel file any motion to the court for temporary of the juror by the prosecutor?
Absolutely. It was actually the court. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mr. Koji, I learned that Mr. Koji was subpoenaed by the court.
Yes, sir.
Did Mr. Koji ever appear at the court? Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm sorry for interrupting, sir. So yes, it was actually, I guess you would say, a leak, or by the grace of God, because from the information I was received, Councilor Nyanti had done that multiple times. So the court had that information, and they advised, and they conducted an investigation. Within their investigation, he admitted, yes, I went there overnight, but also denied that he had the actual contact with the jurors. What he said was he only spoke to the security with that was protecting the jurors. And I find that hard to believe. You will not go over there multiple times at nighttime and say, oh yeah, I went out of my way, knowing this is someone who's been practicing law, again, longer than I've been alive. That's 101. You have no need, you have no reason to be out there. So he admitted to going out there, but he denied coming and actually contacting or communicating directly with the jurors. He said he was checking with the security that was protecting the jurors and said something of the sort that you better make sure you protect these people, because I don't want the same thing that happened in the drug case to happen with this one. That was after the investigation. So those were his, what he admitted to. And at the end of the day, the judge ruled that we can move forward, but suspended him from the case and fined him $200 US.
Okay. So we're going to take the last two calls, and then we'll wrap up. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Winston Ford, and I'm joining from Habel, Maghibie County.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just called to talk to Mr. Scott. Yes. I got to encourage Mr. Scott that God will intervene. We know that this case is highly politically motivated, and we Liberians, we have followed the case. We know, but one day justice will be served. That didn't keep the courage, and I got broken down when he said, "Oh, because of the ladies that could have nobody to speak for her, or the men down there who have nobody to speak for them. What could have become of them?" But God will intervene. Then he keep the courage. God will show the intervene.
Thank you. Thank you. We take the final call now, this time from the WhatsApp line. Hello. Oh, my word. Sorry. Just hold on a bit. Let me have you coming from here. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Samuel Down. I call from Private in Rhode Island.
Okay.
And I just want to tell Mr. Scott in studio that let him just rest and show that his mom is going to be free, because there's something called tune at the top, where those high hierarchy trying to hide something, and they just don't want the fact to be out there. But God being God is going to reveal himself. That lady is innocent. It was meant for somebody else. It just happened that way. They're going to free her because there's nothing to prove. Why you have an innocent woman over there when the perpetrator is out there? Yes. They're trying to frame this story, but God is going to put everything out there. I just want to tell him to keep his courage, and the Liberian poor are with him, and she's going to get her free. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you very much.
So with that, wow, the lines are okay. Let me just squeeze the final one in, the final person here. Go ahead quickly. Just go ahead quickly.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Go ahead quickly. Let's hear you, sir.
I know Gloria Musu Scott. I know her brother Tao. For his mind for us. You are supposed to go to stay student. You are quiet lady. Yes. But the kind of case like insurance, if you happen to pay, this is another case. What are this government? Yes, government. Because government is government. So you have to sue this government or the another government that come in. God, like the government to court. Any government for that matter.
That's yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot. You're asking whether she can sue this government or the next government coming. Government is continuity. But anyway, uh, Scott, you want to respond to that and just do your closing and all of that.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that decision would be up to my mother. I can tell you guys, she's a solid woman. She's strong. Whenever I get the chance to even communicate with her every day, she's a role model of mine. She's raised me so many years. And it doesn't matter where I've been and all my accomplishments in my career. She always reminds me that, yo, you're from the bush. You're a bush scribble. Don't get happy about none of those things. Come back and serve your people. That's why you even went to that place. I'm grateful to be a Liberian. It touches my heart to hear from my fellow Liberians all the support, just not now, even since day one. And it's just, I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you so much. Please keep praying for us because even with all that I say we have, at the end of the day, there are individuals that are going out there and deciding the fate of my mother. We're ready to fight this to the very end because we are innocent. Thank you, Liberia. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for standing with my family. Thank you for standing with my mother. You guys give us strength. Please keep praying for us. And we're in this battle and we'll fight this to the last day. That's all I have. Thank y'all very much.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Mr. Neil Scott. We appreciate you for showing up here. And yes, we can only wish you well and hoping that the law, justice will be served and that the law will take its course because the legal people say they have something they call precedent case or precedent cases. This case could be a precedent case for future cases, and that's why it's very important for the law to be applied at every stage along the way. So again, thank you for being here. Unless if you have anything to say in closing, and
that's it. Thank you, Liberia. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for your well wishes. And please pray for us as we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott.
Okay. So, guys, here we are, and we're about to do our closing now to go. Yeah, but I mean, you guys listen to everything. Good thing we have some other things on the plate today. Yes, but we're gonna continue from where we stopped. But again, it was good that we had Mr. Scott on, and to provide some of the pieces of information that he provided here tonight. I think it was good. What do you think, Sandy?
No, it was good, Nelson. It was good, and thank you for bringing him on. I know our brother Josh also have a concern, and I think he was in a good place to say, stay out of the media and all. But I think the brother presentation was not anything that will
No, it wasn't into the merit of the case. No,
right. It wasn't anything that will cause any harm to the case. But yeah, the men came, and I'm glad to know that the family is strong. I'm glad to know that Madame Musu Scott is strong. This is a tough time for them, and we can only pray and hope that justice will be served. And yeah, so it was good that he came on.
Yeah. So let's start to do our closing now. I know that we are planning to have some very fascinating discussion aside from just our training issues. We thought to highlight this issue of mental health, sparked some very important conversation around this, around it. In series, adding on to the training issues that we'll be talking about. It's good that we have you here, Cindy, working on your PhD in mental health. Did I get it right?
You are right. That's why I spend all that time.
And Miss
So
Cora is
I'm doing a doctorate degree program in mental health, and my focus is to integrate mental health into primary care settings.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, and Miss Cora is here too as well. With she comes from the health background. Maggie, and we're gonna be bringing some other experts on as we uh sail through an entire series here. We're gonna discuss it by phases, different steps along the way. We're gonna be doing that for this week. Adding on to we're not going to drive away from the regular politics, the regular training issues. We'll still to our training issues, but at least there's gonna be a segment where we'll talk about these issues for this week. And
It's important.
next week is gonna be another sector. Maybe you look at security, maybe you look at agriculture, and a lot more we're going to be highlighting as well. But yes, so hopefully we'll start that tomorrow so our folks can know some of those very important things that are related to the subject, talking about mental health and everything. So we'll start to do our closing for tonight. Mr. Way, you want to start? Cindy co-moderating tonight, so Cindy will be the last.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was a fascinating show. I mean, especially the last part where we had Mr. Scott coming out to tell the Liberian people what's been unfolding. Nelson, so much. I know, I mean, that was so awesome of you to grab that and bring him over, at least so that the world can hear what is unfolding and what the family is going through. And we in prayer with them. At the same way, in the same token, we pray, asking our brothers and sisters back home there that are still protesting for their salary. We know it's not easy. It's hard for it not to work and not take pay. But again, for especially the corruption department, I would tell them, my advice is that you don't stage protest as a corruption officers. You don't do that. When you do that, you put the lives of thousands of people into jeopardy. Just today alone, something could have sparked up, and the whole country we're talking right now, they're going to be different. So my brothers and sisters, please, the people that are giving you the 1 or 2 cents, don't let them keep doing it to you people. Please. Better days are right ahead of you. We got a couple more weeks. We'll be talking about the 22nd of January. May you have a new leadership that will bring Liberians back again on the global map. That people will see justice. The rule of law will come back into play. Again, I want to say to our listeners out there, thank you so much for listening to us every night. Our little 1 or 2 ideas we put out there for the betterment of our people. Once again, I say thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. What the guy can say? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. They said again, thank you very much. One motor body, guys, they will make it too.
No.
His best friend, his man there.
I mean, I'm proud it was to do for that man though. But then he said my friend number 2, so the communication finished. No, I really like him though.
Let's hear you, Dr. Kelvin. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for affording me the time to be able to do my closing. And I'd like to reach out to Brother Sandy. I understand what you're going through at this particular time in endeavors to Brother Sandy in doing in your endeavors to complete your thesis, in writing your thesis. I understand every day you have to do some research. It's not easy coming up with new ideas to write contents to fill up your thesis. And I know that you are going through some things and you still have time and make up time for the Liberian people. I applaud you for that. And I also like to extend my sincere thanks and appreciation to those in TV land that take up the time to listen, and some of them come in late night to call him just to make contribution to this show. And Mr. Kola, you are a very good man, all our sister and all panelists here. But one of the things we face in our country, my close and I know we talk about all other things, including our brother Scott that came out to talk, and he made some good points. We sat with him and the family. We all impressed for them, and we wish for good things for them. And but our country is filled with some major issues, and these are things that I like to highlight. I would like to talk about the system, the thing of governance. We lacking management in our country. This is why you see in how do you call it, the correction system we have, people protesting because of salary and other things like that. So most of the time when people talk about how to call it management, we always like to put or look at one epitown, and like the woman called Murray Blanc. We want to look at, so some people they think about it and say like the gods must be crazy. You look at the coconut bottle that came when you see on the other side, the one you see on the other side, you see on the other side all over the place. So the one use Murray Blanc for LEC, they use it for this GSA, and they use it for So we need more people coming on board. So what we will say is that I think the young government have the opportunity to do more for our country to go forward. We know that there is a new beginning. Let us just assume that there is a new beginning for our country. So we look forward, let us galvanize ourselves to put ourselves together and work with this government and give this government support. Thank you, and I submit to you.
Thank you, sir. Francis, let's hear you.
So in closing, I want to thank all of our folks in viewing land and in listening to us on the radio and watching us. And I'm glad Mr. Scott was able to come on and throw some light on how his mother is feeling and things like that. And as we talk about how tough our country is, that could possibly be the reason why maybe our correction officers are striking and things like that. But just on a lighter note, shameless plug, because of that, I got my inspiration from CEO, what he's doing with the bag of rice distribution in Liberia. I also thought that, how can I help my folks in Liberia from a smaller scale? As of this Wednesday coming up, I will be giving out recess or transportation to folks only in Liberia that will call in on my show on Wednesday, which will be 8 o'clock Liberia time and 3 o'clock US time. The only people allowed to participate are folks from Liberia. I will be giving out $10 or $15 to people calling from Liberia, and you have to answer a question. It'll be a simple question, question answer segment. You call in, you answer a question, you give your mobile money number, and we will give you 15 United States dollars or 10 United States dollars. But we just want to help students or anybody get some transportation or recess or the bag of rice that Spoon Network is giving you. You can buy some fish, some pepper, whatever the case may be. And I'm trying to do that hopefully weekly, and the more funds I'm able to raise, I will hope to increase the number of days per week to do that, and hopefully it can grow bigger from there, because I'm interested in making education cool again. So my goal is to continue to do this for our people. So I hope you guys are watching. You can go to my profile, Francis Jabati. I have 2 pages on Facebook. One is the picture of me and my wife. That's my page. I'm not using that page for that. But the picture of me in a black suit, that's the page I'll be using to go live on Wednesday, 3 p.m. US time and 8 p.m. Liberia time. Only people allowed to participate are folks in Liberia, not outside of Liberia. So thank you.
By the way, get me straight in Liberia.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying people outside Liberia enjoying, but my people in Liberia, they need more help.
They need the recess.
Exactly, they need the recess, they need the transportation. So
I know.
as of now, I'm up to giving transportation and recess to at least
change my number.
people.
I would call. You'll be like calling
and we'll be using WhatsApp. So if you don't already have WhatsApp, please download WhatsApp on your phone. That's how we'll be taking the calls via WhatsApp. Or I'll put a link in the comment section. If you can come on live and answer the question, that will also work.
Man, using my library number. It's so good. I did roomie, so I do using my library number.
Thank you.
I will know you, Prince.
Thank you, Francis. Yeah, thank you. Miss Dear, you want to go ahead? You are muted.
Yeah, I would say thank you. I would like to speak to two group of people. Firstly, the Scout family. I'll use the scripture of Hebrew chapter 13, verse 8, which states Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is a just God. So I want you guys to put your trust in the Lord and don't depend on men, don't depend on anybody. God is able to deliver your mom. God is able to deliver your family from every calamity. So I want you to know He is the same God yesterday, He is the same God today, and He'll be the same God forever. And to the Liberians out there, all of the Liberians out there, I'll also use a scripture also that states from the book of James, chapter 4, verse 7. It said, God resists the proud, but give grace to them that humble themselves. So every one of us are in Liberia that don't want to humble ourselves. We want to exalt ourselves. We want to overlook people. We want to condemn people. We want to use our power that because we are in authority, we want to use that authority to bring people down. God will resist you and God will bring you down. So you've got to stop it. Don't use your power to overlook people. Don't use your power to condemn people. Don't use your power to kill people. Don't bring people down, but use your power to exalt God. So what the family going through and what other people will say that someone say you in the street, that is very bad. So this hour, I want to let everybody know that justice is for all. And let's do the right thing to ensure that Liberia becomes developed. Let's do the right thing to love one another. And only love can ensure and bring in development in our country. Love Liberia above an individual. Don't love individual above Liberia. If one person is developed, sure enough, Liberia is developed. Like what he was saying, he sent me and I'm taking a time to have the Cora program, health program. I've been ongoing on for the past time. I was telling people when it comes to development, the individual development helps to develop community. Community help to develop the society. So if we will get together, firstly identify ourselves. What do we want to see? What do we see in ourselves? What can we do to impart knowledge, to build the capacity of people around us? I can tell you, we will not run after government work. We will not run after other things. We will do a lot. Let's stop running behind people out there 1 cent and tell us to go in the street and do this and do that. That will not help us. Let's see what we can do as an individual to help Liberia. So, having said that, I want to say thank you, and I hope to be in class early tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Carr. Thank you.
But this is a classroom. I'm learning. I honestly I can learn a lot of things from here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
William K. Sherman has asked, yes, thank you, Francis, for putting your name in there. So it's Francis Jabate, Jabathy. So follow Francis. Thank you. Officer Hines.
Sir, Mr. Prospective PhD. I know how you guys can. My level of
I don't
study,
know how he be on here.
bro. I finished school, PhD. Maybe not the next word. Anyway, thank you so much for. I congratulate you, Sandy, and all those that are still pursuing. I just want to say, we dissected the situation today at the Monrovia Bureau of Prison. We did say that things didn't look okay from the way it appeared. It looked staged, but then again, those are guys that been working. We know this government don't pay people, don't pay their employees, and the president take leisure trips here and there. In the last weeks of you preparing to turn government over, you sitting down in Dubai and receiving a war or having jolly. Those are some of the irresponsibilities we're talking about. But we also want to say to the colleagues over there at the Bureau of Prison, you have a duty, you have a sworn duty, you have a job to do. You are there to protect. Yes, you're a sworn officer. You are there to protect those people in prison. Whether you get paid or not. Anything could have gone wrong today, and you would be in jeopardy to be able to curtail the situation. So take your oath serious, be patient, seek your redress your qualms through your ranking officers, and because you don't have a union, I believe, so redress your qualms through your ranking officers, and they'll be able to take it to take it by steps, chain of command. If it reaches the justice ministry or the finance to get your pay, that will be fine. Remember, you got 3 more weeks. I understand the magnitude of Christmas coming. You need money for your family. Trust me, it is hard out there in general. Then one more about Liberia, one more about Liberia. So I understand the situation, guys. We're not gonna beat on y'all too much. What of this? We don't have concrete evidence that it was staged, but from the look of things, it appeared that way. Just want to say, do your job. Continue serving the people. You took an oath as a law enforcement officer. Your duty is to serve and protect. To the lastly, to the Temple of Justice, um, Mr. Clergy should have actually gone to court today, walk upstairs or whatever, and submit himself that he appeared, and let the judge be the one to denounce or say that the case is on hold or it's going to be scheduled based on the situation that is happening at the bureau of prison. But you can't just roam around the facility and just go about your business, go sit down to a radio station and talk against the very things you have more press conferences and doing your work. Lastly, and last but not least, to the Gloria Scott family, Mr. Scott, you did well coming up on here. You are very porous, and you said a lot today that you didn't show any clue or anything. I admire that of you. You were very, you articulated very well today. You didn't give no reason for government to come after you, saying that you spilling out what you call evidence or what have you. You are very, very good. That's what happens when you learn. When you learn, these are some of the reasons, these are the outcome of going to school and learning. So I want to say thank you, and your family. We'll keep your family in the prayers, but as you said, I like the way you said, let the Lord take his course. Guilty or not guilty, you want to see this to the end. I want to say thank you. Hang in there and stay poised. Thank you, Sandy, for co-hosting, bro. You the man, bro.
And,
PhD.
and you know something?
Proud of you, bro.
The first time Sandy was the co-host, next year came out quick. Right
exactly.
Now.
Well, quickly, 1 second, guys. Before Cindy, you go. Just to our viewers, I'm seeing some folks sending me friend requests. But guys, like I said, when you look up my name, there are 2 profiles on Facebook. There's one with a picture of me and my wife. Do not send requests to that one. Send request the one that I'm sitting by myself in a black outfit. I'm sitting in a black outfit. That's the one I'll be going live on. So if
so why you want them to send requests to the one you and your wife?
Lead the member.
That's the one I'm going live on, bro. And you notice that page, the one only the black, I'm sitting in the black. Only Liberian people I'm sending requests to on that page. So
yes,
whatever I'm doing is only geared towards Liberia. That's why I created a new page.
I know the madam watching the show. Let me tell you now. I hope you know what you're on.
Let me just let us step up. Yeah, man.
Anyway, thank you, Sandy. Go ahead.
Yes, it was a good show. Thanks to all of you for being here. And yes, I mean, a lot have been said on the Madame Musu Scott case. I just wish the family good luck and best wishes and, speedy trial so that justice can be served. Quickly here on our topic of mental health starting tomorrow, I just want to encourage our listening audience and anyone in Liberia that is currently working in the field of mental health or any sort of mental health initiative that you know about or doing in Liberia and you want to join us starting tomorrow, come in. We would love to engage with you and maybe ask questions about what you're doing back home, and we can all share ideas on how we can bring awareness to the issue of mental health. And that's what we're going to be doing here starting tomorrow. Basically just bringing awareness, talking about the different aspects of mental health and how that can be related to our country, Liberia. Nelson and the rest of the panelists, while we were on the show here, I got a very sad news. Grand Jida is bereaved, Liberia is bereaved. The Honorable Representative Iron Madison Guiam of District Number 1 Grand Jida just passed.
Oh!
This evening, yes.
Wow.
He is the sitting representative and just got re-elected.
Yeah.
He just
Oh my God!
Wow.
So I extend my condolences to the family, and yeah, like I said, Grand Jida is bereaved, and Liberia is bereaved.
What?
It's a sad news.
That's very sad. Very sad for our country. Very sad. I mean, I don't know what to say, but it's a sad news. The last time I remember I saw him really engaged was when this NEC person, the commissioner there in Grand Jila County, when that case was on.
Yes.
What's the name of his
Dolo,
name?
Donna, yeah.
Yeah, Alfred Dunno, right?
Alfred Donna, yes.
Yeah, and yes, he and they um um how do you call it? Fali. He and Fali.
Kai Fale, yeah.
Kai Fali is the superintendent. Yeah.
Mm.
They went very hard on each other, because they had different sides on that particular thing, and yeah, but it's a sad one. Um, yeah, and our condolences to the family, his family. It's a loss not just for his family, but for the entire country, for Liberia.
When he sick?
I have not a detail with me, but I'm in the Grand Gita chat room. Also, someone shared that in the comment section. But in the Grand Gita chat room, they have. Apparently, he was in the hospital when he passed, but I don't have the details. So exactly what killed him.
What a man! Oh wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandy. Thanks for
Thank you.
Hey, the Ghanaians are sorry, my man. Y'all have sympathy, my man.
I mean, at Liberia, y'all lead our regional thing that at Liberia.
No. I agree that Liberia, but I mean, that's certain is a Ghanaian. I mean, you can't dispute this.
Yeah, that one is true.
Yeah. I mean, some from Nimakante. I'm a man, man. He would be right to say, "Oh, Prince, I'm a sympathy, my man." So I mean,
okay.
I get what the GB will go boo.
And I had HGV to do. I could have made my swallow me. Don't play with it.
Okay, so yeah, Sandy, you did your closing already?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
man, Sandy.
So we want to say yeah, again our condolences to the family, and we want to say thanks to everyone again for being here tonight. Thank you, Officer Hands, for being here tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chris Ray, Dr. Kelvin, Mr. Francis Jabati, right? Okay. Miss Cora Diane, we appreciate you for being here tonight. And our co-moderator for tonight, Mr. Jilau Cindy, thanks for being here as well. We appreciate you. And we look forward to having a great show tomorrow. And yeah.
Nelson.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, why is Moba?
Moba is well. Moba is no, look, the day Moba come by, I will play the video that made Moba sing.
The man drank 25 beer bottles.
I said, Nelson, something happened real quickly. Nelson, something happened in the weekend.
Yeah.
I went to a friend of mine funeral, right? You enter, you stand up for somebody to leave the pews. So bro, I posted a picture. Y'all who my friends on social media. They want papi, they without papi. Second, it was caught. But accidentally, the guy snapped me and he sent a picture.
Imagine.
Go look at that picture that papi look at. Nelson, you see that picture, you'll be like, oh my God. And look at the post that I made. First, I don't know if you saw it. Look.
You see, but you know, one person we haven't seen for a while on the show yet. Let me do this. Is I mean, we haven't seen a lot of people for a while, right?
Yeah.
Sheikh, I understand Sheikh is not well. That's what I'm.
I reached out to check too.
Yeah, I understand he's not well, and not just check, but some of our folks, man.
The scheduling, man. You look
Yeah.
at me. Sometimes I just come on once.
Once in a while, and that's it.
They're not easy. I know.
Another person that we're not seeing for a while, but they made it bluffing. They made it bluffing. Oh,
Who's that? Oh, Toure.
No, not Toure. Yo, wait. I'm about to.
Toure can be in the comment section.
No, not
Toure. Toure, but don't jump the gun.
Where's Soiree? I can't see Soiree, bro. The guy who they not the dollar night.
The man
is rotating to go to bed.
But you see that person on the stream?
Oh,
who's that? You know, the man, did the man put him on, or they say pay people like red, but you see, the man is chilling, resting.
Pay people like red. What I want come for you?
Yeah, and I saw that man photo. I said, wow. Yeah, but we haven't seen him for a while as well. I got one photo for Prince too. I'll upload that tomorrow.
Toure is grieving right now. Toure is grieving. They beat Eagles yesterday. They football. And Nelson, they beat them at Market Door yesterday.
Don't start that stuff. You know what?
I see you.
Got the best record in the league.
It's
about time that we took a loss, but we still got the best record in the league. So let me start.
We 10-2. Wait. We 10-2.
You want cookies?
Exactly. The also got the best record in the league. We needed to get out of our system, right? Because I know we're playing sluggish, but still winning. We needed to get out of the system to get us back in.
Nelson, when you lose game, you can lose game at 2-3, especially your championship team. They beat the guy 42-19.
No,
and then
it was bad. That means
it was a bad defeat. Nobody denying it.
No, the thing is that the first 3 that we had, we should not have that 3. We should have had that touchdown. That's number 1.
And then why Sylvester is wearing red? You know, sticking near the flower pot and taking a warm picture. And Prince cruising.
Mr. Bay.
The man went for a boat ride.
The man went for a boat ride.
He no life.
He got life vest on.
Man, Johnny said the man no life. You see the man eat white. Who said the man dressed when he was on the moon, like he coming from the moon?
No.
They
made it Jack and Vogue.
The Twin City, my man. The city of 2,000 lakes.
Man. Summer. But Nelson, you like Papi look at me. Tell I was chasing a dollar like years ago. Nelson, that picture like.
I saw the picture you were steady.
But wait, I got some photos for you. Just wait. Tomorrow we'll do a lot.
You see, I'll not be here tomorrow. So you try me tomorrow that contempt.
Lee.
I want to say thanks, man. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you, Robert.
Was a nice show, for real.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone. All right, guys. You have a good night. See you tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, so folks, you can join us tomorrow for another edition of the Late Night Show, the Late Night Politics and Spoon. We'll be back here. Until then, have yourselves a good night. Rastafari, Kilibamba, Kilibamba, Kilibamba.